From the basement of La Penta, this is WICR.
Hello, Iona College. We are back here with Lights Out Sports. We just told you about the MAC championship last night. Now we are off to our Monday night NBA recap. Guys, last night had some great games. Let's start off with yesterday, the Boston Celtics defeating the Miami Heat. I mean, this team is on a roll of late. Two games out from the 8th seed. They win 100-90. Isaiah Thomas seems like the perfect fit in Boston right now. What can you guys tell me about this team? Do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
The Boston Celtics, or you talking about Miami Heat?
The Boston Celtics at this point.
No. Just straight up no. I'm sorry. Like, no offense to Boston, but it's Boston. Mm-hmm. Like, this still, Isaiah Thomas is still coming off the bench. Their bigs is not as great. Like, who's Tyler Zeller and who? Jared Sullinger?
You still have Kelly
Sullinger's out.
Sullinger's out right now.
I think he's out for the season.
So it's Tyler Zeller and Brandon Bass.
And what they do is they put Jay Crowder at power forward sometimes.
Yeah, that's still not. I still don't see that as a playoff contending team. So I don't think so.
I'm gonna answer your question right here. This team's they're right there, but they're inexperienced. Yes, Miami, Brooklyn, they have horrible records, but they come with experience. Mm-hmm. So in the final stretch of the games, they're gonna get the job done. And even the Hornets, I mean. They've been there last year. Mo Williams has been to the playoffs many times, so I mean, they have experience too. And the Celtics, the Pistons, those teams that are right there. The Pacers too, but they need Paul George back. They don't have enough firepower. But all those teams right there, they lack experience. So that's the main flaw with this team.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see them though pass. I think Charlotte's not going to make the playoffs. I could see Charlotte falling out.
Oh, I could already. Yeah,
I see Boston filling that void. I mean, I'll give it. If Boston makes it, obviously it's 4 games and out. But I think these guys have what it takes to make it. I mean, if Sullinger doesn't go down, we could see them possibly finishing as a 7th or 6th seed in the East. I mean, this team.
Rob, not a 6th seed.
6. Oh my.
They're like 7 games out of the 6 hole.
6.
You crazy?
Hey, you put Jared Sullinger in that lineup.
Oh yeah, Jared Sullinger's the next Charles Barkley.
When he's on the court, he puts in work for that team.
He does put in work.
He does. He shoots ill-advised 3.
Jared.
He shoots under 20% from 3, and feels like he can shoot it.
No, but I like Jared Sullinger though. But I don't think he's that big of a difference that Boston is gonna jump to a 6th seed. I don't think.
I think so. He's the big man that you need. He's the big man that you need.
He is the big man, but still, I don't think he's that good to. 6
qualify them as 6.
Exactly. Like Boston's still not even in.
They're too far back.
Yeah, they're not even in playoff contending range right now.
There's
That's
like
the
20
thing.
games left. They would have to finish like 17-3.
I mean, who's the AC right now in the East?
Charlotte right now.
Charlotte, and who's 7th?
Indiana.
Miami.
No, Indiana is right now.
Miami.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And 6 is.
Milwaukee.
Right now is Milwaukee.
Okay, see, that's the thing.
Yeah, but Miami and Brooklyn are gonna get in.
The thing is about Miami and who said the AC was again?
Right now, Charlotte.
And Charlotte, like they can fall too. But the thing is though, when they fall, I can see Boston falling with them. So it's not even making a difference. It's like Miami
dropped 3 in a row.
It's like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, they're not doing as great, but still, like Boston though, I don't see them improving to a 6th seed because Milwaukee Bucks, you actually gotta look out for them in the playoffs. You're not gonna tell me not gonna look up for Milwaukee in the playoffs though.
No, I feel that once Brandon Knight was traded from that team, they kind of ruined that whole momentum of the team because the team does not look the same it was at the start before the All-Star break. The team has really gone down. I don't think Michael Carter Williams was that big of a pickup to add. I think you should have sticked it out with Brandon Knight because the roster was fine the way it was. Jason Kidd had these guys playing. They knew how to play defense finally. The offense was rolling. I mean, this Milwaukee team, and we look at it before the All-Star break, they were playing without Jabari Parker, who went down with tearing his ACL, and they were still playing great. After this trade, I'm not seeing that same play out of Milwaukee. And I kind of throw Milwaukee into a situation like Toronto, a team that's falling out, because you know what? They all are not playing up to what they once played last season. Or not last season.
Yeah, Milwaukee didn't have any expectations coming into this year. Toronto had expectations. So, if anything, they're playing, better than they were. No one had Milwaukee making the playoffs, so they're exceeding expectations. Toronto, this is a great point. They're not playing to their par. But this team with Milwaukee, I mean, they're the 6th seed right now, so they would open up against Chicago, Cleveland, or Toronto. I mean, the only one who...
6? Let's see now. Okay, Chicago's... Wait, no.
either one of those three.
Atlanta's 1. Cleveland's 2 right now. And Chicago's, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but they're within a game. That could change in 2 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're going to say it's one of those three, Toronto, Chicago, or Cleveland. Most likely it's going to be Chicago because Chicago's playing that mediocre ball while Toronto's declining and Cleveland's upsiding.
But on top of that, but you question Chicago too. Loss of Derrick Rose, loss of Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but Chicago's been in this situation before. Every year Chicago plays with injuries. They just play with a lot of heart and passion. Thibodeau's a great coach. I mean, they know how to win without their stars.
Look who's starting.
We've seen it throughout the past.
Etuan Moore is
Etuan Moore.
He stepped up like
Tony Snell too.
Yeah, Chicago has a system. That's what happens when you have a system. The Spurs, they rest players and they win. Chicago loses players, they win. When you have a system and you have, good coaching, your bench comes into play and, they become the starting notch players, and that's what we see. Chicago's a good team. That's why they're capable of doing this.
Well, speaking of the Bulls last night, probably the biggest game of last night, they fell to the Memphis Grizzlies 101-91. I mean, we got the reports yesterday that Derrick Rose says he'll be ready by the end of the season to come back and play. He still hasn't jumped. I mean, we look at this as a key game going down the stretch versus a tough Memphis team, but I mean, I think you really need Rose in this lineup. I mean, this guy he's a game changer, but when he comes back, has to change the way he plays. He was saying that he might have been playing on this bad knee for over a month, Derrick Rose, and without him in the lineup, I mean, yes, they're putting up a decent job, but they need him in that lineup. He's
well, they need it for go time. They need it in the playoffs. So right now, let him rest. But he needs to be back for the playoffs.
So you're telling me I gotta be prepared for the return part 3. How many times do I gotta watch him get injured and return? I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When Rose's contract's up, get him out of Chicago. Get him out. He's a liability.
He really is, though.
Huge liability.
How many times are we going to see the commercials, the return, the return, the return? I'm tired of seeing the return.
Yeah, saying the return of the Jedi. All right, the Sith's failing.
We all said that Derrick Rose needs to change his game up, and he did a little bit. He kind of, he saw him slow down, and he was taking more outside shots this season and not taking it to the hole as he used to before. So he did change up. Does he need to change again? Who can he change?
He does.
Yeah, but that might be why his field goal percentage is down because he cannot shoot outside. He shoots an abysmal percentage from out there.
He has to drive to the paint though. But you saw that But you saw that he declined. He didn't want to drive as much because the injury. So, but now this time, it's like he got injured off of shooting. So it's like, what else does he have to do to change his game up though? Does he need to become a pass first point guard?
Most definitely. That's what I was about to say. He might have to become like a John Stockton type point guard because you know what? When he drives, he's doing damage to that knee.
John Stockton. I mean, Derrick Rose doesn't have the passing ability of
but he's going to have to become
he's going to.
But I mean, when he drives, he's doing more damage to that knee that's already done. That knee has gone through so many surgeries, and by him keep on driving, he's going to ruin it even more. And he's going to throw himself out of his career. He's going to end up like another Brandon Roy pretty soon. And I mean, with Derrick Rose, he can't shoot the ball. I'll give it. He can't shoot the ball. Pass the ball. Become a true point guard right there. Be the guy who could dish out 10 to 12 assists a game. You don't have to shoot. The team is fine. You have Pau Gasol. You have Meritage. You have Jimmy Butler. They could all work the ball. They could all score. You don't need Derrick Rose going off like crazy. He can change that game and be the true point guard they need.
That's probably been one beneficial thing about the loss of Butler and Derrick Rose. Meritage has stepped up into a role where he should remain. Mm-hmm. They should put him as a starting small forward alongside Jimmy Butler and a healthy Derrick Rose. That's a good front three. I mean, back three, backcourt. That's a very good backcourt. So I think Meritage. I mean, that's the one positive you can take away from this this injury.
And the thing with Rose going down the stretch, guys. I mean, you know how Rose gets. Like, he seems to be nervous when he comes back from injuries. We see the intimidation in his face at times where he doesn't look like he could play those minutes.
Derrick Rose is intimidated?
I think so. He has
the same face on every time.
He's not very expressive.
He has the same
not very expressive.
He has the same face when he takes a clutch shot, the same face when he dunks on somebody, the same face when he crosses somebody up. I don't see Derrick Rose no expressions.
I think there's still intimidation to come back because when you injure your knee and then you come back, it's kind of that fear it's going to happen again. I mean, can we see that mental damage happening to him later in the season? Because I feel it's already happened before. I've seen it when he left out the whole year with the ACL injury, where it takes a lot of guys to come back by that late March. And he sat out that whole year. And, I mean, even with the meniscus last year, I mean, I see that mental intimidation where it's like, can you go through the door or do you stay behind? And that's the biggest problem with Derrick Rose. And I'm kind of scared because in the playoffs, if he has that intimidation, he's done. He plays the Cavaliers or Hawks. If they win, first of all, the first round, then they play the Cavaliers or the Hawks, they're not going to stand a chance because Rose is the guy that you need to beat those teams.
I don't know. LeBron struggles with the Bulls, so he can. I mean,
But
the
LeBron's
Bulls are still capable of being one of those teams without Derrick Rose.
But
the Bulls are accustomed to playing without Derrick Rose because it's been so prominent now that Derrick Rose is not in the lineup. So it's almost like it's back to reality for Chicago.
But
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But LeBron and Derrick Rose in two different situations. You could take LeBron off this Cavs team. You still got Kyrie and Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, and Timothy Mozgov. They'll step up easily. They'll all step up.
And I think Kevin Love would actually step up more. Kevin Love probably would return to the.
Well, that's the LeBron James effect.
And
Whenever LeBron goes somewhere, he takes away stardom from other players.
But for Chicago, though, you don't see Joakim Noah. He's not playing as well as he did last year. That defensive player, like last night, he had 3 points. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, he's been a little bit weird this year.
Exactly. Is it because the Pau Gasol moved to Chicago? Is that taking effect on Joakim Noah? So that's why I question it. And Jimmy Butler's injured, so you question, will he also have that mental problem too of injury?
Well, I mean, Noah's been in the same situation before with Boozer, but Boozer was not
Boozer is not
nearly Pau Gasol. But I mean, Boozer was an offensive player, or at least he tried to be.
Yeah.
So Noah was never really going to put up points, but Noah would put up more assists and rebounds and blocks, and even more minutes.
He goes out there with heart too, play great defense on players.
But it doesn't seem as stagnant as it was in years.
And Terrence, I mean, I go back to your comment with Butler. Does he have that mental intimidation? No, it's not that as serious of an injury the way Derrick Rose is. Derrick Rose is more, I need to start thinking of the future of my life. What if in my 30s, do I really want to have that bad limp in my leg? Do I really want to have those issues? And he has to start thinking about that. That's why he's been under that whole mental intimidation. How am I going to be when I get older? Am I going to be like a really old man by the time I'm 40 years old? Am I going to have the body of Manu Ginobili, a guy who destroyed his body? He's like 37. He has the body of like a 50-year-old man. I mean...
At least Ginobili gets
still got it.
Yeah, at least Ginobili gets the work done. Ginobili still gets the work done, though. I'll say that for sure.
When you look at his body...
If you're going to compare someone who's a 37-year-old man to a 50-year-old body, it would be Paul Pierce. That guy is not in good physical shape at all. Ginobili can still do a Euro step and attack the hoop.
Ginobili can still get the work done.
His knee, Ginobili, yes, you know what, he does fine, but his knees, I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah, because you know what he would do to defenders with that Euro? His footwork was insane back in the day. Between him and Dwayne Wade, no one had better footwork 7 years ago in the league than them two.
Kobe?
Yeah, but Kobe didn't do those side steps like
Kobe
was a better scorer. But I'm talking about why do you think both of their legs are so messed up? Yeah, it takes a toll on you, bro.
Yeah.
So you think James Harden might end up like that too? Because you see you see him do that Euro step.
He almost took out the mic too.
I'm sorry, but you see him
Euroed the mic.
You see him do that nice Euro step when he drives to the paint too.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to the thing, I don't think I agree with Rob. I think Jimmy Butler, it's just a common injury. Every player throughout his career has an injury where he's out like 20 games a season or something like that. Derrick Rose is way too reoccurring, and now it's becoming a bigger issue.
But you know who never had the injury though?
LeBron James. Until this year, he missed what, 10 games?
Yes.
Around there.
And as I said last week, LeBron, it's gonna be coming up soon. Believe me.
You think so?
It is.
I don't think so.
So you're telling me that LeBron James, all these years, he's played over 40 minutes in games,
Yep.
and I'll give that in the playoffs. Add that in the playoffs as well. How many minutes he's playing? That guy's done so much damage to his body.
38 to 40 minutes.
Well, he has because I mean it's on the low. I mean the guy probably took some human growth hormones, some steroids.
Okay, now with the Cavs though,
his body.
But now with the Cavs, he doesn't need to play as many minutes as he used to though, right? He got Kyrie, J.R. Smith. He doesn't need to play all those minutes now compared to when he was in Miami and in the finals like last year when nobody else wanted to step up and play ball but LeBron James. Dwayne Wade gone, Chris Bosh gone, and who was your third? Who was the fourth best? Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, no, I mean LeBron down the road is gonna have to worry about becoming a shooter because, like Rob said, it's gonna take a toll on him.
Yeah. I see it's gonna take a toll on him
because he uses his physical nature to just break down his opponent by tagging to the hoop and shoving him off of his body. That's what he does. I mean, this year he's becoming a little bit better of a shooter, but LeBron still has those games where he shoots a three and he airballs.
And Cleveland has to think. I mean, don't get me wrong, LeBron's a phenomenal player. I mean, he obviously he's going to opt out of his contract at the end of this year to sign a max deal with Cleveland. You got to think, though, how much money you're dishing out to LeBron in those next couple years. You got to think about the wear and tear already done on his body. How is he going to perform at 34, at 35 years old? Is LeBron James isn't going to be the same LeBron James.
Yeah, you don't want to do an A-Rod.
He's obviously going to. Yeah, obviously he's going to have to change his game up and become, more of a shooter. You can see he's already. You don't have to say
he's trying to. He's trying to do that.
Yeah, we don't have to say he's going to be a pass first, because as you can see, he loves passing the ball more than anything. So yeah, I think that's basically the biggest thing that become a shooter.
There are some players who find the fountain of youth at a later age. One player that comes to mind is Grant Hill. In his later days with Phoenix, Grant Hill had an abysmal amount of injuries. And then when Grant Hill was 37, he was still playing pretty productive, averaging the teens in scoring. He took care of his body. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
even Jamal Crawford, look at him, a guy who's been limited his whole career. He's pretty old. His body's fine though. The guy
he doesn't really have any severe injuries.
I know, but
Jamal Crawford still got it though.
Even Vince Carter, I'll even throw in there, because Vince Carter had a couple tough knee injuries, and look at Vince, what he's able to do. Look at what he did with Dallas last year. I mean, I watched that playoff series versus San Antonio, and San Antonio's lucky that Vince Carter didn't knock them out, because Vince Carter put a phenomenal job in that playoff series.
So it's capable for these old players, stay healthy and, still be effective for their team.
Exactly, because now you look at Kobe Bryant, all these injuries now. Look what Steve Nash.
Kobe's got to call it quick.
Look what Steve Nash did to himself. Like he definitely needs to go. Steve Nash needs to call it. Kobe, like he did that to his body. Now all these injuries.
Yeah.
Like Tim Duncan talking about retirement. Tim Duncan's having a great year. He doesn't even need to retire.
Yeah, he was still an All-Star this year. He still got it too.
Because these players give in to fear to their age. Like, let Tim Duncan keep playing.
He found the fountain of youth yet again. Greg Popovich knows what to do.
He's not like Garnett. Garnett needs to retire. Tim Duncan, like he averaging 18 and 9? Like he's having a great year.
He was still an All-Star.
Yeah.
Still made it to the All-Star.
All right, well, we just talked to you guys about the NBA Monday Night Recap. Got in a little bit about Derrick Rose, some other players. When we come back, NFL free agency, the signing day is today at 4 o'clock. We'll be right back right after this commercial.
You're listening to WICR.